If you're a One Piece fan, then you need to stop what you're doing right now, click off this video and go watch the One Piece fan letters special episode. It's a special project for the 25th anniversary of the One Piece anime, directed by the legendary Megumi Ishitani, who's behind some of the best One Piece episodes such as 957, 982 and 1015. The episode adapts short stories set in the One Piece world following normal people such as a navy soldier, a small girl on an adventure, and the one thing they have in common is that they're affected by the Straw Hats in one way or another. And Megumi Ishitani turns all these short stories into a masterpiece of visual storytelling that will blow you away. I really don't want to spoil you guys any further, so please do yourself a favor and go watch it if you haven't already. With my final warning out of the way though, let's finally talk and gush about this truly special One Piece episode and why I believe that it's one of the best installments in the entire series. So, the special literally starts with a reanimated sequence showing the events of Marineford, which left me utterly speechless. Keisuke Mori's character designs are absolutely beautiful and manage to perfectly capture the vibe of early One Piece with loose line art and designs with minimal details and shading that allow for some extremely fluid and expressive animation. If I recall correctly, Vincent Chan's art also animated a part of this sequence, and this entire scene is just way too good. And while all the chaos is happening in Marineford, we get a glimpse of the characters we're gonna be following. A marine soldier living under the shadow of his brother, a Soul King fangirl, a marine captain obsessed with Chopper, and finally a small girl who wants to deliver a fan letter to Nami. The whole episode has a motif with puzzle pieces and shadows, and the girl writing her letter is the very first piece of the puzzle and the end of the intro. This 1 minute 30-second intro is a masterpiece, showcasing the characters we're gonna be following and showing their personality through visual storytelling and minimal exposition. We see the marine captain shielding soldiers from the huge block of ice, showing that he's kind-hearted despite his rough looks. We see the two brothers sticking together in the war despite what they say about each other later on. Countless marine soldiers and everyday people, such as the Brook fangirl, getting affected by the war, as the world has essentially come to a standstill, witnessing a war. And finally focusing on the Nami fangirl, saying that she hates pirates but gets excited as soon as she sees Nami's wanted poster, and the intro ends with her writing a letter to Nami. Then we see her taking off her glasses, putting on contact lens and dressing like Nami as she's preparing to go on a great adventure. We're also introduced to her mother as she talks about the brothers who played a part in the Paramount War and how they're contributing to society, which perfectly transitions to a flashback of them fighting in the war and having the worst time of their lives. We also see the younger brother saving his big bro and see how their relationship is like. The younger brother is ranked higher than the older and constantly teases him about it. We also see the shadow motif at play with the big brother staying in the shadows as the other one steps into the light. Then we have the bar talk, and I love this scene way too much. Their entire debate is so uncannily similar to actual power scaling discussions the fans constantly participate in, especially the guy randomly bringing up Akainu when they're talking about swordsman, and they just completely violated Sanji. Like damn, I almost feel bad for him, but he is indeed inferior to Mosshead. This entire episode feels like a massive love letter to One Piece and its fans, filled with so many inside jokes and stuff only a dedicated fan would know about. Moving on, we see that the girl figured out Luffy's 3D2Y message and she's expecting to see Nami and hand over the letter. Now, the funny thing about this scene is that the girl deciphers Luffy's message by overthinking everything. Kinda like how One Piece fandom often overthinks the smallest of details and manage to predict some crazy things. Now, I might be wrong, but I feel like the girl's theory has to be some kind of reference to some old One Piece fan theories about the 3D2Y message. It's exactly the kind of thing a dedicated One Piece fan like Ishitani would put in the episode. Now, I wanna talk about this guy. And believe it or not, this unnamed marine soldier is unironically a great antagonist for this special. And that's not because he's super strong or has a crazy backstory. It's because he's the perfect foil to a pirate fangirl. It's not superpowered pirates or navy admirals that everyday people have to worry about. Instead, it's people like this guy, a cop on a power trip bullying helpless people. There's one particular line he says that really stands out in this special, and that is, "A worthless roadside pebble belongs in the shadows," as she is literally covered by shadows. And we're shown just how much she's affected by his words by still sitting in the shadow long after he's gone. And after losing her letter and being bullied by a marine, she is dejected and it seems like she's given up. But the person who helps her is Usopp, a guy who's on the same crew as Nami. Though I doubt the girl knew that considering Sogeking was on his wanted poster. Next up, I wanna talk about the brother and Luffy. This entire section was freaking beautiful and it's possibly one of my favorite scenes in the One Piece anime. The animation in slightly washed out colors, showcasing the true horrors of war and seeing chaos literally everywhere, between ships falling from the sky or a massive leg about to crush you to death. And that's not even mentioning the pacifistas, the warlords or the marines. This scene retroactively makes Kobe standing up to Akainu better because it showcases a better perspective of the kinds of horror Kobe was witnessing with his observation haki. The older brother thinks about running away and leaving his wounded brother behind, but the one who inspires him to run towards his brother was none other than Straw Hat Luffy, a pirate who's on the opposite side, showcasing more humanity than someone who's supposedly fighting for justice. And that was the next piece of the puzzle. Finally, I wanna talk about the last act of the episode, which is the fangirl helping to save the Straw Hats. Though I feel like she saved the Marines instead because no shot, nameless Marines were about to sink the Straw Hats. The Marine stopping the girl as she's finally about to meet the Straw Hats was unironically heartbreak because of the masterful direction. She's running towards the sunlight and just as she's about to finally see Nami, the Marine makes his entrance with all the light fading away. And the shadow and puzzle piece motif is back again, this time with her being dragged into the shadows and all the puzzle pieces falling apart as she's literally trying to hold on to them. We also see some great characterization for the Marine in just a few lines, as we're told that he's a rich kid and he talks about how the other Marines look down on him, which answers why he was on a power trip bullying a small kid. It's because everything stopped going his way after joining the Navy, and that made him bully helpless people as a way to deal with his insecurity. I know some people might disagree, but I think that he's genuinely a great antagonist for this short story. The other Straw Hat fans indirectly saving the Nami fangirl was great, as more puzzle pieces start to come together, with her thinking of a plan and finally running, fooling and stalling the Navy so that the Straw Hats can get away. And I'm not gonna lie, when she finally manages to catch a glimpse of Nami, I was straight up about to cry. It was a genuinely beautiful moment, especially with the music and the fact that this was the very first time we see Nami in the episode, unlike the other Straw Hats. It also solidified my love for Nami as her fan puts into words how Nami inspires her. This was the perfect project for the 25th anniversary of the One Piece anime, and Megumi Ishitani and everyone else who worked on this episode deserves the highest amount of praise. The animation was genuinely stunning and the direction was incredible, with great visual storytelling, amazing storyboards, and the way the episode seamlessly transitions between gags and hard-hitting emotional moments. This is one of the best One Piece episodes and one of the best things I've watched this entire year. Thank you One Piece and thank you Megumi Ishitani.